This evening we start with a new book. It's a book by name Just So Stories.
Yes, so.
Oh, Just So Stories. Sorry. By Rudyard Kipling. So we start. The first story's title is How the Whale Got Its Throat. How the whale got his throat. It goes like this. In the sea, once upon a time, oh my best beloved, there was a whale, and he ate fishes. He ate the starfish, and the garfish, and the crab, and the dab, and the plaice, and the dace, and the skate, and his mate, and the mackerel, and the pickerel. And the really, truly, twirly, whirly eel. All the fishes he could find in all the sea, he ate with his mouth. So, till at last, there was only one small fish left in all the sea. And he was a small, stewed fish. And he swam a little behind the whale's right ear so as to be out of harm's way. Then the whale stood up on his tail and said, I am hungry. And the small astute fish said in a small astute voice, Noble and generous Cretacean, have you ever tasted man? Cetacean. How do you pronounce it?
C-E?
Cetacean.
Cetacean.
Meaning?
It's a family of whales.
Okay. Okay.
C-E-T-A-C-E-A-N.
Okay. Noble and generous cetacean, have you ever tasted man? No, said the whale. What is it like? Nice, said the small astute fish. Nice, but nubbly. Then fetch me some, said the whale, and he made the sea froth up with his tail. One at a time is enough, said the astute fish. If you swim to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, that's magic, you will find sitting on a raft in the middle of the sea with nothing on but a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders, you must not forget the suspenders, best beloved, and a jackknife, one shipwrecked mariner, who it is only fair to tell you is a man of infinite resource and sagacity. So the astute fish is giving directions to the whale to go swim to latitude 50 north. So that's in north latitude 50 from the equator, north of equator, and longitude 40 west. So longitude is also from the zero main line 40 west. So that is the crisscrossing of latitude and longitude gives you a point. And at that point, the astute fish says you will find a shipwrecked mariner. So the whale swam and to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, as fast as he could swim, and on a raft in the middle of the sea, with nothing to wear except a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders. You must particularly remember the suspenders, best beloved, and a jackknife. He found one single solitary shipwrecked mariner trailing his toes in the water. He had his mummy's leave to paddle, or else he would never have done it because he was a man of infinite resource and sagacity. Then the whale opened his mouth back and back and back till it nearly touched his tail, and he swallowed the shipwrecked mariner, and the raft he was sitting on, and his blue canvas breeches, and the suspenders, which you must not forget, and the jackknife. He swallowed them all down into his warm, dark inside cupboards, and then he smacked his lips so and turned round 3 times on his tail. But as soon as the mariner, who was a man of infinite resource and sagacity, found himself truly inside the whale's warm, dark inside cupboards, he stumped and he jumped and he thumped and he bumped, and he pranced and he danced and he banged and he clanged, and he hit and he bit, and he leaped and he creeped, and he prowled and he howled, and he hopped and he dropped, and he cried and he sighed, and he crawled and he bawled, and he stepped and he leapt, and he danced hornpipes where he shouldn't, and the whale felt most unhappy indeed. Have you forgotten the suspenders? So the suspenders was not forgotten, and that was creating a lot of problem. So the whale felt most unhappy. So he said to the astute fish, "This man is very nubbly, and besides, he is making me hiccough. What shall I do?" "Tell him to come out," said the astute fish. So the whale called down his own throat to the shipwrecked mariner, "Come out and behave yourself. I got the hiccoughs." So the man says, "Nay, nay, I won't come. Not so, but far otherwise. Take me to my natal shore and white cliffs at Albion, and I'll think about it." And he began to dance more than ever. So the man was not going to take it as per the whale's request or command. He says, "No, take me to my natal shore where I was born. Take me to the shore where I was born and the white cliffs of Albion, and then I'll think about it." So the astute fish then said, "You had better take him home." So I ought to have warned you that he is a man of infinite resource and sagacity. So the whale swam and swam and swam with both flippers and his tail, and as hard as he could for the hiccoughs, and at last he saw the mariner's natal shore and the white cliffs of Albion, and he rushed halfway up the beach and opened his mouth wide, wide, and wide, and wide, and said, "Change here for Winchester, Ashuelot, Nashua, Keene, and stations on the Fitchburg Road." And just as he said Fitch, the mariner, his name is also Fitch, he walked out of his mouth. But while the whale has been swimming, the mariner, who was indeed a person of infinite resource and sagacity, had taken his jackknife and cut up the raft into a little square grating, all running crisscross, and he had tied it firm with his suspenders. Now, you know why you were not to forget the suspenders. And he dragged that grating good and tight into the whale's throat, and there it stuck. Then he recited the following sloka, which, as you have not heard it, I shall now proceed to relate. By means of a grating, I have stopped your eating. For the mariner, he was also a Hibernian, and he stepped out of the shingle and went home to his mother, who had given him leave to trail his toes in the water. And he married and lived happily ever afterward. So did the whale. But from that day on, the grating in his throat, which he could neither cough up nor swallow down, prevented him eating anything except very, very small fish. And that is the reason why whales nowadays never eat men or boys or little girls. The small stewed fish went and hid himself in the mud under the door stills of the equator. He was afraid that the whale might be angry with him. The sailor took the jackknife home. He was wearing the blue canvas breeches when he walked out of the shingle. The suspenders were left behind, you see, to tie the grating with. And that is the end of that tale. So next time we'll read another tale. I think it's a small tale, very short, and some interest is there. So we'll do it tomorrow. Another. Thank you.